Welcome to Road Atlanta in the GT3 Multiclass series. Now there's GT2s, GT3s and GT4s in this race. This lobby is fully packed out and fully chaotic. As you can see, the start line didn't go very well. I've chosen to go with the Mercedes because I was debating what car to go for, and I thought, you know what, I'll go for the big old brute. Get a nice, good sounding engine, and it is as heavy as a bus. As I get rear-ended and slammed into the car up in front. Pablo is a person you want to watch out for because Pablo has a tendency to hug a lot of drivers in this race and has no awareness, as you can see, of anybody else on the track. So this race is going to be quite chaotic. Thankfully, a lot of it is down to Pablo clearing the pathway up ahead, but it was, as you can see, quite frustrating. Anyway, coming around the last corner for the back straight, I have a feeling that I have got an incorrect setup on this car. Now, I have used this car at Nürburgring and things like that. It does seem quite competent. But for this track, the setup is a bit... it's hard to explain, but I found that it didn't like the curves very much, especially when you went over them, and it just, the braking effort was really awful. It felt like a fat old slog to drive around this track, and the back end, even with a bit of downforce trying to keep it behaving, did want to step out a good bit. So I do need to go back and revise this tune somewhat. It was a bit of a handful to drive. Now, don't get me wrong, this car is a big old brute, but expected a bit better from the car itself. To be fair, I mean, Pablo's absolutely sending it in the M4, and I do hear that it's a great car to drive. I mean, you can't not hear it. It's obnoxiously loud, and I don't know why it's still not being fixed. If you're also having this problem, hit that like button down below and get Forza to fix the obnoxiously loud BMW. I mean, you can hear it probably from here on Mars, but we're going to have to live with it and hope for the best. I mean, it is hard to hear your tyres and your own engine noise with that thing screaming at you, but we have an Aston Martin up in front who is absolutely sending it. Pablo is a bit clumsy, and we're going to see if we can make a move. Hopefully the big old brute will be able to overtake the Aston. We do have the outside line of the next corner, but it is a better line to have due to how wide you need to take this corner. So you're going to be braking at the 400-meter board. I'm not too sure how Pablo got into that condition they did. I gave plenty of space to the Aston Martin and became a little bit clumsy after as well. We have Trebor in the Aston behind us as well, who has a 0.047 mile penalty. Snippy up in front, and we are losing a few places here and there. We are down into position 9. Not good, but we didn't exactly have the best of starts either, and it is a very chaotic race. So I do not expect to finish this race in a grand old position, but yeah. Backing out to let the Aston Martin go through. I know other people will say, you know, you should have pushed, you should have done this. I'm playing on the side of conservation. That person conserved into the wall. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I actually stay on the track. I could have made that move and it would have been fair and fine, but I have the feeling that if I made that move, the Aston would have just sent it through anyway and would have probably slammed me off the track. Or we both would have gone off the track, who knows, but I'd rather stay on the black stuff and lose position and try again later. Just easier that way, and I feel more comfortable doing it that way. I mean, we have 16 minutes of this race left to go. As we're sending it down here, we've got a good bit of gap from the car behind, a bit of gap from the car in front, braking into this corner now. Should have applied a little bit more braking effort, but we actually managed to pull it off and have a bit of a tail out of happiness. Going around this corner now, I think we lost a little bit of time from the cars up in front as well. Pablo cutting the corner, Porsche going gardening and sign collecting. There's a lot of sign collecting. I'm breaking into this corner now. I think that Porsche, is that the good Porsche? That one's alright to drive. GT3 Porsche I find to be a little bit of a handful, and it especially really likes to flick the back end out when you're going through like an S or something like that. Anyway, Something like that, what that person just had up in front, where it just snaps back on you. Anyway, coming around this corner now, trying to make a move on the Porsche up in front. I'm not too sure. That's a GT2 Porsche. So we do seem to have a good run on that car now. Break into this corner now, coming a little bit hot, but we've got the inside line. We're braking again. I definitely came in a bit too hot on that one. And I'm going to have a compromised... Whoa. Behave car. Thank you for squaring me up. Great. Now I've got Pablo next to me. That's all I need. Sending it down here now. And I've got Mr. Cuddly to our right hand side. Might not be Mr. though. You never know. Sending it down here, going to be breaking the 400 meter board, hard on the brakes, down to second gear, turning in. Pablo turns in onto me and gets to meet the full weight of this Mercedes. You can't turn in the same place that someone is already there. It just doesn't work that way. And Pablo learned the hard way that you don't fight with things that are heavier than you. I'll presume this car is definitely going to be heavier than the M4, so... Anyway, coming around here, the Aston Martin has managed to overtake Pablo behind. I just got to make sure to do this. See what I mean? It's a bit weird on the suspension. I think it's a little bit soft. I'll have to have a look at that. Coming through here now, bit skippy to do. Aston Martin's breathing all over me, but to be fair, the Aston Martin is a much nicer car to drive than this big old brute. Coming down here now. Absolutely, come on car, you can do it. Let's get away from that Aston Martin, breaking out the 300 meter board, down to second gear, turning in, well I'm in third gear now, then down to second gear, sorry, turning over the curb, accelerating out the other side, power, let's go, let's get away from the cars behind with a much better exit, 0.6 second gap from the car behind, although I do think Pablo is gaining, yes he is. So Pablo is now, keep an eye out to what's going to happen, because I have a feeling I know what's going to happen. Breaking up the 40 meter board. Pablo doesn't break and goes gravel castle building. Thank you for the new ghosting system. Pablo obviously was very frustrated about his poor decisions when turning in on somebody that is already there. How is it that other person's fault that you can't go too wide into a very wide corner? Anyway, coming around us here now, we do have Treeball breathing all over us, and I have that feeling that Treeball is definitely faster than us, so I want to find a place that I can let him go in front, and then I can try and follow him and try and be a little bit quicker myself. I'm quite off pace here, I'm not going to lie. Breaking into this corner now, he has come through. Well, there we go. Come on, hey car, what are you doing? Behave yourself. Back onto the track, there we go. I mean, Treeball went for a chance, which is fair enough. It was contactful. Doesn't matter, we was leaning on each other. I think Treeball's waiting for me there as well. Thank you very much, buddy. Didn't have to, it's not a problem, but it's much appreciated. And yeah, I would have liked him to be in front so I could follow and learn. It's been such a long time since I've been at this track, and especially in the GT3 cars, because I usually do it in touring cars, but... And this old big old brute behaving nicely. We do have a great run on Treeball right now, breaking at the 400 meter board and turning in. If Treeball does come up behind me again, I'm just going to let them get past. Like I say, they are faster, and the last thing I want to do is cause frustration to a car behind. Yes, I can defend, but I'm certainly not going to be able to defend for the next 11.5 minutes. Because if that's the case, one of us is going to either lose concentration or lose our, you know, kindness. Is the best way of putting it. Anyway, braking at the top of this hill, down in second gear, turning in, bounce over the curb we go, and accelerating out the other side. I do think the Aston is a little bit quicker through the section. It's definitely quicker in the cornering section of the track, where I'm quicker in brute force and power. That was actually not... Oh, I would have quite liked if the car slid a little bit better there. It was quite a nice slide. Anyway, coming down here, braking at the 200 meter board, down in third gear, turning in. Oh, bit sketchy there. Car wasn't too pleased about it. Round the second gear, over the curb we went and into the dirt. So now to the side, not getting a great exit out of that corner, but it is what it is, and we're going to absolutely send it down here. But we do have a Treeball in our slipstream, so I am going to hang it over to the right hand side, so I'll get it out of part of the track. If Treeball wants to make a dive move, more than welcome to. I'm sort of expecting it. That was not the case. And because I was expecting it, I was not concentrating on my braking effort as I turned into this corner. So, they've got in front regardless anyway. And so does Snippy as well. Snippy is on M4. I wonder where Pablo has gone. A fat... I'm not going to read what position his name is. I looked at it. Oh, look, Snippy's got off track. Get on gardening, Snippy. Go for gardening. Oh, so Treeball's gone gardening as well. I think... Are they going to ghost before I get in front? Yeah, they're coming out ghost. There we go. Yeah, Snippy is now quite far behind us. I'm not too sure where Pablo's gone. Treeball is also going pretty quick through this section. Actually, the car seems way more stable. Although a bit of tail out happiness there, it did seem far more manageable than the behavior I am having to deal with. Braking down here now, we have a Dodge Viper up in front. I wonder if we can catch up to the Viper. That'd be quite interesting. Oh, Treeball does go a little bit wide out of the corner. We are going to be side by side, but I am going to give Treeball a little bit of V8 love and give them a boost coming down here. Go on, buddy. Let's go. We can catch those cars up in front. Actually, looking at my tyres, they are starting to get quite worn. I think this might be the lap I need to pit on. And I don't think I'm going to go for soft tyres. I think I'm going to go for another set of mediums. Just play it safe. I'm not too sure if I'll be able to pull off soft tyres again. I don't know, but I'm going to do the pits now. Time for a fresh set of rubber. These are about to click onto minor wear, and it's just no point running on minor wear. I'd rather play it safe, go for another set of mediums. I reckon I could have made softs last, but I don't think the way this car is set up that I could have utilized soft tires as to their advantage. I may have probably gained a couple of seconds a lap. I just generally think stick with what you know at the moment, because the car is a little bit unpredictable. But whilst we're coming out of the pits, I'd like to take a moment out to thank our channel members, which are Jeffrey Anderson, Andy Good, DMC Motorsport Systematic, Daniel Adams, John Burns and AK47. Thank you guys very much for supporting the channel. By becoming a channel member, you get access to exclusive content and other game footage. And for today, we're going to also show Pablo's view of the race, and I must admit it's an absolute mess, but it's funny to watch as well. You can only laugh at it or end up being totally frustrated at the end of the video, but yeah, worth the watch. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy what you're watching here as well. Coming down here now, we are braking at the 200 meter ball down the third gear, turning in a little bit clumsy on my fresh set of rubber. Pablo, speaking of devil, you are behind right now, 107 seconds behind. How on earth did you manage to lose that much time? I do not know, but you'll know if you become a channel member. Anyway, coming down here now. I'll stop. Coming down here now, we are 12.8 seconds away from the car up in front. I'm not going to pronounce that. Just looking at it and just what on earth. I think I'm last, like kind of last. Pablo is last. I very much doubt there's anybody behind Pablo. So I do have a feeling a lot of people have quit the race, and thankfully position 8 is in the pits, position 7 is in the pits, so we are now down to position 8. Half Card Shark is up in front, 16.8 seconds away. They have pitted. We have a lot of time to find. We have, and I don't think we're going to be able to find it. I'm going to be honest. I really don't. Thankfully, I don't think position 9 is going to be able to catch us up either. We are now in a stale neutral area. I do wonder though, because there's got to be some others that haven't pitted yet that's going to be running on soft tyres at the latter half of the race, because the Aston Martin, who was in front, is no longer in front, because obviously I've pitted. Car, behave yourself, because I've pitted, so they're going to be that far ahead. I think Half Card Shark might be in a higher position than already stated if you take away the cars that haven't pitted yet. So yeah, Pablo is following behind in that car behind, because 13.2 seconds away is position 9, and that in the mirror is not 13.2 seconds away. So coming over the curves we go, a little bit of tail out happiness, come on, get that power down, and away over the hill we go. I can brave this just about flat out most of the time, but this time was not the time to brave it flat out. But we did trim the grass. The edges were a little bit high, and I did notice that, so I have done something. Oh look, there's Treeball. Speaking of the devil I was talking about earlier, over we go onto the curb on the right. Poor Treeball has given me a little bit of a kiss from behind, looking to make that move. I am on medium tires, they're going to be on soft tires, so they do have the advantage, as well as also being a bit quicker than myself. Whoa, what you doing, car? Behave yourself. Treeball followed suit and met the wall. I managed to hold on to it, but I think Treeball had the same issue I had with the weirdness of that curve. Right, we have Snippy that is just in front. Snippy does have a penalty. I don't think that's going to be enough to warrant 3.3 seconds, but a penalty nonetheless. So hopefully, and actually no, I don't think it's going to happen, because they're going to be on soft tyres. I'm already at a disadvantage with poor tune, poor car choice, and poor tyres. I mean, well, not poor tyres, they're just not as grippy as those tyres. Well. You live and learn. Thankfully, though, Treeball is 5.3 seconds away behind us. And, yeah, Snippy has gained quite a bit of time on us, I'm not going to lie. I think I found this car a little bit bouncy. I think I'll have to have a look at the rebound stiffness on it and increase it or something like that, because it's a wee bit spongy on the old corners and coming off the curbs. It just keeps bouncing. And I think that's also affecting the way this car should behave. Anyway, it's got a big old snout up in front of it. I can see it right there. Big old snout, breathing in all that air to get the V8 rumbling down this road we go. It's a shame. I would like to have a little bit more power. Anyway, I digress. Losing more time from Snippy. We lost another second. Snippy's that much quicker than us. Treeball is 4.2 seconds away. Does have a 0.050 mile penalty. Whatever that equates to in time. I'm having a look. So what's that, about 3 seconds I'm looking, depending on how fast you're going. Could be 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 or 3 second penalty, give or take. But because it's calculated on distance, I've got to try and maintain a 3 second lead upon them. Yeah, I'm working out to be about 3 seconds. 0.16 mile penalty is probably less than a second worth of penalties. Just trying to work it out. You're watching the total distance climb up as the speed you're driving. I can only presume 0.016 is quite a small penalty. We are starting our, I think we've got 1 and a little bit laps left to go. 2 laps of fuel left. Tyres are looking pretty. 6.3 seconds away from position 6. Thankfully we are in position 7, so we have bettered off than what we were earlier. But I think we're pretty much down the back end of the pack. Just because of I don't think there's many people behind us. But there's a lot of people did quit. I've got a feeling a lot of people has quit. It doesn't seem that many people on the track, which is a shame. I expected when I joined this race for it to be as chaotic as it was. You know, GT car racing can either be extremely good or it can be extremely chaotic, and then you're mixing everybody together and banging them all in. Yeah, that's going to be a recipe for disaster. I sort of expected. I mean, Nikon VAC 13 is 41.4 seconds ahead, and is competing with Scardor. Oh, it was competing, which is insane because they're almost a minute ahead of us, and it just goes to show the dramas we had, as well as along with other situations, that we are so far down the list. And so far away, sorry. It's rubbish on the road again. Fair enough. I think yeah, so I mean, we're all this on the leaderboards, all GT3s. I'm in the GT3 car myself. Yeah, I don't know. I expected it to be this chaotic, but I didn't enter the race expecting the chaos. It's hard to explain, but I knew it was coming, but you had that's it. You had the hope that it wasn't going to happen, and it certainly did. I mean, besides what happened at the start of the race, Pablo certainly delivered an expectation. Oh dear me. And then it's not just that. I mean, it was very close racing, and I know Treeball hit me in that corner. I would say because it didn't affect my car very much. I mean, if it had damage on and there's a real life race, then yeah, that impact would have been quite brutal on this car. But the impact it had on myself or the car was quite minimal. So I would say they were more slid and leant against me as I'm braking at the 400-meter board down in second gear and turning in for our final 2 seconds of the race. And we finished the race with low fuel light coming on. In position 7, I don't think that penalty up in front did too much. No, in position... Oh my gosh, I really was down the back of the pack. And a lot of people did quit. Pablo quit. Yeah, that is a lot of people quitting the race. But anyway, thank you all for watching. See you all next time. Goodbye.